Hello, how's it going? This is my final for my teaching through film class, and for my final essay, I spoke about the ALDS between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees in the postseason. And going into this game, it started off Houston Astros were winning the series 3-1 versus the Yankees, and the game prior to that, the night before, the New York Yankees had 3 errors by their second baseman Gleyber Torres that led them to costing them a bunch of runs, and they just couldn't come back at the very end. And in total, this is their game to honestly come back and see who's got what they got. So starting pitcher for this game was James Paxton, who is a tall left-handed pitcher for the Yankees, and he came over from the Seattle Mariners and was their number one starting pitcher. So coming over to the Yankees, it was a perfect transition, coming over to a very dominant offensive team in the Yankees, knowing that he was going to be able to pitch behind a lot of runs. And for the Houston Astros, starting for them was Justin Verlander. He is a longtime dominant pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. He pitched there for multiple years, having a lot of great starts, no hitters, just throwing absolute heat and being very successful with that. So going into this game, James Paxton is a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher, likes to work ahead with his fastball, curveball very often as well, likes to mix it into some hitters. And going into this game was George Springer to start it off for the Houston Astros. And first pitch of the game was a strike, obviously, just a nice get-over fastball. And from there, it goes to a 1-1 count, and from there is a ball that gets hit to Gleyber Torres. And somehow Gleyber Torres is unable to field it, and he's able to reach first base. And on this play, he just decides to go for a bare hand instead of using his glove, and it ends up costing him. And George Springer ends up reaching first base. And so next up was Jose Altuve, and Gabby Sanchez was having a very hard time just receiving the ball this postseason, and he was struggling. James Paxton just so happens to throw him a fastball in the dirt. Pass ball lets him get to second base. From there, Jose Altuve goes to a 3-1 count, and James Paxton throws a 96-mile-an-hour fastball just right over the plate. Just so happened that Jose rolled it over to the shortstop, Didi Gregorius, and that lets George Springer extend his lead from second and go to third base to get into scoring position to actually give them one out in the inning, which leads them to a very good chance of scoring a run. From there, Michael Brantley ends up walking, first and third, one out. Now you got a very dangerous Alex Bregman up to the plate. From there, Gabby Sanchez ends up booting another ball that ends up in the dirt. Very bad play on his part, costs them a run, 1-0 ball game right off the bat. From there, James Paxton ends up getting out of there with no runs scored. And we go into the bottom of the first with the Yankees hitting Justin Verlander on the mound. And second pitch of the first inning, just DJ LeMahieu ends up going deep to right field to tie the ball game for the Yankees, which absolutely made Yankee Stadium go nuts, because this is a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Justin Verlander is an absolute dominant pitcher on the mound, and getting ahead, making sure we put up runs for James Paxton is a very good idea. Next thing you know, Aaron Judge comes up to the plate, hits a fastball right over the second baseman, put him on first base. Next thing you know, Gleyber Torres comes up, hits a double in the gap, make it second and third with nobody out. Big chance for the Yankees to come up in the clutch, make sure that they score some runs, make sure that they can get to their bullpen, which is one of their best keys for them winning, is their bullpen. Making sure that they can get their starting pitcher a good amount of runs so that he's comfortable. And from there, they can just toss it over to the bullpen, make sure everything's smooth from there. Next thing you know, Aaron Hicks comes up hitting 5-hole for the Yankees playing center field. Goes to a 3-2 count against Justin Verlander. Really good at bat, honestly. Just saw some good pitches. Saw just about everything that Justin has to throw. And from there goes 3-2 count. Justin ends up leaving a slider right over the plate. And Aaron Hicks ends up hitting it right off the right field foul pole for a 3-run home run to put the Yankees up 4-1. And Justin Verlander was absolutely disappointed from it, because obviously he's not getting that much run support from Houston from his last starts, he really was not getting much run support, so this game is going to be rough for their offense to come back from a 4-1 lead. And from there, honestly, the game ends up being very smooth. Nothing really ends up happening too much. Yankees end up holding their lead all the way up until the 6th inning, I want to say. No. They ended up holding the lead off the entire time. And James Paxton goes 6 2/3 innings, just dominant pitching all the way. And from there, the Yankees end up going to their bullpen to Tommy Kahnle, who is a right-handed pitcher, very dominant, fastball pitcher, 96, 97, just comes right at you with it. Comes into the game, actually, right away, 7th inning, top of the 7th. George Springer hits a liner right to the first baseman. Ends up being a base hit. He's on first base. Next thing you know, the Houston Astros are in motion, and first and second, actually, with 1 out, and coming up to plate is Michael Brantley, who's a very good base hit doubles guy. Really good at just putting in runs. So the Yankees decide to go to Zach Britton, who is a splitter fastball guy, throws really hard, but was really effective against left-handed hitters, which is why they decided to go to him, because lefty-lefty matchups, right-handed matchups, they're very difficult for the hitter to be able to see the arm slot from the pitcher, for him to be able to take a good swing on the ball. And being that Zach throws 96, it makes it a lot harder. From there, Michael Brantley actually hits a rollover ground ball to DJ LeMahieu, who goes to Didi Gregorius for the double play ball. From there, he goes back to Zach Britton, but good thing Michael Brantley's pretty quick because he makes it there safely. So from there, the Houston Astros have first and third with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And this game is getting really interesting, honestly, because they have the heart of their lineup coming up. They're making sure they're trying to put up runs for Justin because he's still throwing pretty decent besides the 4 runs he gave up. And Alex Bregman comes in, hits an absolute line drive right off the bat to Aaron Hicks in dead center to end the inning. So Tommy Kahnle ends up giving up no runs that inning because Zach Britton was able to finish the inning. From there, we go to the top of the 7th. Justin Verlander's still throwing for the Yankees. He's still able to get 2 strikeouts in the inning. And from there, goes all the way to Urshela, who is the third baseman for the Yankees. He ends up hitting a deep fly ball to right field. Josh Reddick makes a play, runs into the wall. Really good play, honestly. Just got a good break on it and saw it all the way to his glove. From there, Houston just keeps trying to fight back into the game, doing their hardest, but the Yankees' defense really came in clutch this game. Urshela made a great play at third base on the run to hit DJ LeMahieu at first, right on the bag. Next thing you know, you got the dangerous Carlos Correa up and goes 5 pitches, strikeout right away. And the Yankees are pushing to get this win here because they want to get tied up, get back to Yankee Stadium after going back to Houston. They're going to come back to Yankee Stadium, hopefully can tie it up. From there, the Houston Astros end up going up to Brad Peacock to make sure that they can get them back in for the bottom of the 9th so they can score some runs and possibly take the lead. From there, he does his job, throws a lot of good pitches, fastball, curveball, really hard. In the postseason, that's pretty much all you're going to see out of pitchers is just 95, 96, just a lot of fastballs. Pitchers are throwing really hard. So the Yankees honestly have the best bullpen in baseball, like I've said earlier in the video. And coming into this, Aroldis Chapman is their closer, one of the most dominant closers in baseball, throwing 100 miles an hour, topping out at 104 in his prime, 105. So he is definitely one of the most effective closers with a great slider as well. So Houston Astros are honestly just going to have to play really good small ball and try and fight back into this game somehow and hope that they can piece him up. But obviously, when you're throwing 100 miles an hour, you might strike out a couple people. So starts off the inning, strikes out Chirinos, the Houston Astros catcher. Next, Diaz, third baseman, goes to a 2-1 count. Ends up flying out a really bad pop-up to Brett Gardner out in left field. Makes an easy play. Next thing you know, Yankees are out to their last out. George Springer started out the game with a base hit. Ends up grounding out to Urshela, who makes the throw over to DJ LeMahieu, which makes the series now 3-2. And hopefully the Yankees can come back and tie this ball game. And from here, we're going to take it to another person's opinion. And Toby, my friend, here with me is going to give us some opinion and light on the subject when it comes to Houston and the Yankees game. So, who do you think is going to win this game? Who do you think actually is going to win the World Series? First of all, is where I should start.
My thoughts are, I really believe that the Yankees are going to win the whole thing. That is just my opinion. I'm not big into baseball, but from watching highlights for the past couple weeks in playoffs, I have a strong feeling that they have the best chance.
All right, sounds good. That for me, honestly, I think the Washington Nationals may take it just because they have a younger team, great bullpen, just like the Yankees. But I honestly think Houston's going to outbeat the Yankees in this series, and from there, they're going to go over to the World Series to play the Nationals, but I honestly think the Nationals are going to win it. So that is my full synopsis on this project, and thank you for listening, and I will catch you later.